everybody. Happy Friday. I think it's still August. It is. It's the third Friday in August. I don't even know the date anymore. I'm Gaye Ann Bruno, host and producer of Yes, You're Watching Us Between the Sheets podcast. We're on the first and third Friday of every month here on the United Broadcasting Network at 7 p.m. I won't even tell you what I was doing. I was running like a crazy person to get here at 7. But I'm here, and we have a small crew tonight, but a beautiful crew tonight. You can follow me on Instagram, QTE Brat, and you can also like our Facebook page, Between the Sheets podcast. We also have a YouTube channel, Between the Sheets with Gaye Ann Bruno, and the shows will go up. The video portion will go up there. And then we're on Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, and that's all the audio portion. I just want to say thank you so much for following us, for listening to our show, and for supporting us. So thank you so much. In gratitude always for you guys. Before I go into, well, you know what? I'll go into the old comers, and then we have a new rotating co-host that has joined us this evening. But I'll start with Mara Shane. Mara, what have you been up to, my love?
Oh my gosh, I've been getting a lot done as far as diet and working out. I got a stationary bike finally, and I have been on that all the time, and I've been eating clean. I'm determined to get back to my fighting weight. So that's what I've been on. Yay!
Yes. Woo! Yay for Mara. And then Cheryl Murphy, what have you been up to? I know you've been working and busy because I keep getting your Facebook postings. So what have you been up to? What have your divinations been?
Thank you. What's really special that I've been doing lately is helping to raise money for a animal organization, an animal rescue. So I've been doing readings and raising money for Wildlife SOS out of India. We rescue elephants and bears, and it's a great program. I'm loving it.
Well, thank you for joining us, both of you. I love you guys. You know I do. It's all, you're both in here. Kim couldn't join us because she's been working like a dog. Cara is living the lap of luxury in, of course, COVID compliant situations. And, Delisha, we're all here. We're all good. But without further ado, let's see. This kid, because she is a kid, with her red lipstick. She is, I met her through her aunt, and I truly sort of found a kinship with this kid. She's married and she's not a kid, but I could be her mother. If I could be her mother, she'd get a kid. But she is the kindest soul. Both her and her sister are the kindest souls I have met for a person at that young age. They are both old souls. She is spiritual. She is creative. She had her own clothing line. She is also a very talented musician, composer. She's pretty much got it all, and she just got a house with her husband, and she's living the dream. She is, and I admire her for her fortitude, for her kindness and her compassion. And I knew she'd fit in. I mean, she'd fit into my life. I call her my niece. I call her my niece, and her sister my niece, because I don't have any. It's sort of fun, and I didn't have to even raise them like wiping their snot or anything. I just got them at 30 years old. But I have brought up to her, when we've been talking and stuff, and really getting to know her as an individual. Would you like to be on the show? Because, I think she would contribute, but I think she's one of us and she fits in. And I think she would help elevate the show, give us that younger audience. I know Mara's used to being the youngest, but not today. But I thought, you know what, this girl is an old soul and she has a lot to say for her generation. And she actually, in our conversations, and I think I know it all because I've lived it, she has taught me a lot, not only about just her viewpoint, but also a little bit about myself. She's challenged me.
Yes.
Yes. I've done the same for her.
Yes.
It's, teaching an old dog new tricks, as we both know this, everybody on the line that's over 30 something, it's hard once we get settled in what we are. And I think the point of everything is to grow. And I just want to say, welcome, Alana.
Thank
to
you so
the show.
much. I'm so glad to be here.
Welcome to the family.
Auntie.
So why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, what you want to share to the audience so they can get to know you a little bit better and sort of resonate with sort of what platform you're on.
Thank you so much. I'm just really happy to be here because I just got out of work and I was so exhausted. I just wanted to lay down. I thought, no, I have to be with Gaye Ann and tonight. And I just was looking forward to it. So it put a more pep in my step all day today. So yeah, I'm a businesswoman. I'm in sales currently, and I've been doing that for a long time. I also sing in a band. So along with our guest here, she is an incredible singer and songwriter. I've been listening to her music, and I sing as well. And I'm all about personal growth and relationships and connecting with people. If I see someone on a street that might need a hug, I'm that kind of person that's going to be like, hey, can I give you a hug?
Not during COVID.
Pre-COVID. I'm that kind of person. I just love to connect with people. So I think our friendship is really special. I've learned a lot from you as well. So I'm just excited to see what we're going to do tonight. And I'm all ears. And yeah, I'm excited.
Well, welcome. I love you. You know I do. So
aw, thank you. Love you too.
Okay. So now that we got all the love fest going on with the ladies of Between the Sheets, I do want to introduce our guest. She is a talented singer, songwriter, musician. She is a triple threat on every level. I was introduced to her by some mutual friends that I met through another mutual friend. And, I do believe, you do meet people for a reason. And the first time I met Susan, it was probably in a hotel room, and no, don't you guys go there. Okay. She was coming to record. She was recording her newest album or CD. I still call it, I don't know what it's called. I'll call it an album because I'm just that old school. And I was fortunate enough to meet with her, speak with her. She's another person that's just, just so grounded and so spiritual. And I'll let her tell you just a little bit about her background, where she comes from. She has this pillar of strength. She almost died. And out of that, I think at our lowest times, I think we find ourselves and we become a better person for sometimes the things that we do go through. Her newest album, which again, I was fortunate enough. I think the first time I met her, after we hung out and got to know each other, all of us, we went to a recording studio. And actually it's the same recording studio, Alana, that I took your sister Jenna to, with the same producers. And I sat there for one or two songs, and I hadn't been in a recording studio in a very long time, and I totally missed it. But to sit in this intimate environment and hear Susan sing and hear her creativity, I mean, I got chills and goosebumps. And, and it's not her first album. This is not her first, merry-go-round or ride to the rodeo. I don't ever believe she's gotten enough accolades for her talent. But this album, and also who the hell has the balls and the courage to release an album during COVID?
I know.
So I just want to say, welcome, Susan. I love you. I adore you. I'm so proud of you and your accomplishments and what you've gone through in your life to be at this point in your life. And I'm so flattered that you're here to give all of us your energy, to share your music, which is part of your life and your energy. And welcome to Between the Sheets.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And I love you too as well, Gaye Ann. You just are marvelous.
I know.
the love that you pour out is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to start off with saying, I could read the whole damn bio, but I find that completely, utterly mundane. So let's start with, where do you come from? Where do you come from? How did you get into music? And then we can just go off from there.
Sure. I come from a small town of Norman, Oklahoma. And
oh no, her internet. Is everybody else frozen? No, right?
What?
Here, nope.
No.
So much energy tonight, I'm sure.
I know it's way too much. Susan, your internet is like shitty right now.
Oh.
I didn't hear anything. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, great. So I'm sorry. I was born in Norman, Oklahoma, and then moved many different times to different parts of the United States growing up. And I'm in Los Angeles and have been since 1982.
And when did you discover sort of that music was your passion?
You know, when I was a little kid in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I was in a preparatory elementary school. Nuns asked me to sing at lunch, and would you sing the anthem day? Oh, sure. And I remember from that, when I finished, I thought, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to sing. So that was really fun.
Now, when did you actually get professional? Well, how did you start? And when did you get your like sort of professional start?
Okay, my professional start probably in the 90s and early 2000s, and I was door and many other clubs in Los Angeles, and was noticed by at the time a music supervisor who now is one of the heads of the Sony music company and music department and everything, Spring Aspers. And she fell in love with my music and my performance. And she said, hey, that song, Just Don't Mention Love, can you send that to me? I have a film, I want to put that in. So I sent her my song, Just Don't Mention Love. And it ended up being the main title and track, and then filling in between for a film called Little City.
Hold on, it's so funny. I'm texting Danielle, who is her manager right now, going, your internet is shitty. And she said, cut away and I'll fix it. And she goes, I know what it might be. I said, I can't cut away. Kurt, can we do this thing called a cutaway or no?
I mean, I can have it focused on you instead of
Oh, yeah,
her.
because that's what everybody wants, more of Gaye Ann.
Exactly.
I see Danielle. Danielle, you're fixing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Danielle.
Are you frozen now?
You're frozen.
You're frozen.
They might be resetting their connection.
All right. Well, we'll just talk. So, okay. Since we'll talk about something else. Anybody see the DNC?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so proud.
I was so proud.
So proud. I was almost moved to tears. I'm like, this is our guy.
He really is.
I was in love with Billie Eilish.
I didn't see it all. I saw parts of it. So I didn't see Billie Eilish. I bet she was.
She was amazing. She was on the second day. She did, her song was called Future.
Okay.
I love my future. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, all I know is everybody, before we get back to Susan, vote blue.
Yes.
Biden, Kamala is our team. We need to vote. You know, Bernie people, I love you. I know some of you, but we can't fuck up the vote this time in plain English.
We need everybody.
Suck it up. Vote for Biden, vote for Kamala. We need to take back this country and we need to bring it back because we've got a sociopathic lunatic running it. And this is not my America. And I'm sure it's not yours. And I know I can say this online with all of you people because everybody agrees with us that's watching this show. And if you don't, I agree to disagree and thank you for supporting us anyway. But getting back to Susan.
All right. And your co-host agrees too.
So, okay. So you were in Norman, Oklahoma. Then then we kind of lost you. Something about somebody at Sony.
Yes. Yes. I was performing at different places in LA, the Troubadour and many other clubs, and was seen one day by a woman named Spring Aspers, who's head of the music department for film and television at Sony. And she's amazing. And she said, hey, Susan, you're incredible. can you send me that song, Just Don't Mention Love? I'd like to use it in a film that I have right now. So it became the main and end title of a film called, Fine Line Miramax film called Little City.
Wow.
Wow.
So
cool.
that was neat.
And that was your first professional thing right out of the gate.
Yes.
Well, that's not so shabby.
That's not too
And how long ago was that, Susan?
That was, I think it was 1997.
So not really that long ago.
Not really that long ago. And then I kept working on other things with people that I was working with at Troubadour that had seen me at Troubadour. Arno Lucas, India Ari, Arno Lucas, Ricky Lee Jones, and many other people that he's performed with. He's a drummer and percussionist. And Chad Watson and I, we were working together and playing out in public. And we played at Coach House many times.
Oh my God, the Coach House.
The Coach House many times.
And BF Nowhere.
Yes,
oh
yes, right, exactly. And for a while, Warner Brothers was very interested in me. And I met Patrick Moten, helped him finish a song that he just couldn't finish. And they couldn't find anybody in LA that could finish writing the song. And I said, I'll do it. So anyway, I finished the song. It was great. And the guy that went with TV with Prince, the Prince on TV, he left, and then that my deal that I was getting ready to get kind of fell down and went away. But anyway, kept working on it, and then kept performing. Went to started another album called Love Is a Cure, the Essential Collection, which got distributed by TuneCore, and I mean not TuneCore, but by I'm forgetting it right now.
Universal.
Yeah, they got distributed by Ingrooves. I'm sorry, yeah, Ingrooves, and that is the album Love Is a Cure, the Essential Collection, which just blessed me so much. I traveled different places, LA and Nashville, did some TV, did some lots of radio, and got 3 Billboard hits on that
awesome.
that album. So that was great.
Yeah,
that's great. Now, just you started, at the time when labels were powerful.
Yes, right.
Then they screwed it up, and they screwed it up. They didn't really think that Napster and all those places where people like rip music and stuff, they stood on their laurels that people were still going to support the labels.
Right.
So now in this new album, you just released on your own,
Yes.
What do you think the differences are between at the time having label support? Because I've heard horror stories about people with labels. Like there was a client that I represented, and the label, spent millions, like $1 million at the time, to do it. But, the artists never really made a lot of money from it, because it's sort of like, yeah, you can have $1 million to do this, but before you get 1 cent back, unless you have publishing. And that's the key, I think, to any music, if I'm not mistaken, is keeping your publishing.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you don't, then everybody, the label had to get paid before you even saw a penny.
Yes.
So between that, what used to be to what is now, what do you think the biggest differences, or any tips to any young artist or anyone that's thinking, because the labels are still around, they're just still shitty. So what do you think? Is it better to go the label as you're starting out, or to just do it on your own?
Well, number one, as you mentioned, and I was going to bring this up as well as a point, but basically, definitely get your songs published and hold on to your publishing. Many times, for instance, David Z, who worked with Prince and many other incredible artists, he was the one that produced Love Is a Cure, the Essential Collection. And he all he asked for was for me to pay him a fee. And I got to hold on to all of my publishing. So that was fantastic. But it's very, very important because I was being offered publishing deals. I was being offered all kinds of things because of my songwriting ability and my hit songwriting that I do. And I didn't want to, many of them I said, no, I can't do that. I can't give you my publishing. I can't do that. They all wanted half of my publishing. So I don't want to do it.
But I'm thinking because so how does someone, besides them forcing to have the publishing done, how do these young artists, you had some hits, you had a following, you were fought for it, but for these new artists that are just trying to, get their songs out there, how do you, what's the 101 to get your songs published?
Well, to get them published, first of all, be playing live so people can see you. So you can start building a fan base and hear you. And to get your songs published, you simply copyright them with the copyright agency, and you sign them up with BMI or ASCAP. And then also, like on radio, many of my songs have played all around the world. So it's important to be also on Sound Exchange, because they will go ahead and get all of the things that BMI doesn't get when it's overseas and all of that. Go ahead and get you paid for all the things that are happening all around the world. So very, very important. Get your songs published by copyrighting them first, sign up with ASCAP or BMI, and then, perform live, join Sound Exchange, and make sure they're, watching over your songs, because also performing live now, BMI helps you get paid for that as well.
So my question is,
it's very, very important.
Well, yeah, because Europe, unless you're counted, then you're gonna, because there's so many times when I had to, as a manager, someone would say, hey, did you know X's song was in this independent movie that was from Bangladesh? I'm making this shit up, but and you're like, no, they didn't negotiate anything, and you have to go after them. So I think Europe and outside of the States, you need to protect yourself. Otherwise you're going to not get paid.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Susan, I have one question. So once it's published, once you've got all of that, right? There are companies that actually can be like your agent, correct? To sort of take your music and peddle it around.
Yes.
Get into, it's not like once it's published, then sure, anybody can use it. No, you really do need an advocate, correct?
Right. You need an agent, or you need someone to license, someone to license your music. Yes. For films, for TV, for radio. Yes.
Now, there's a lot of money in that, I hear. Has that been your...
I have a radio programmer right now. I'm number 2 on national radio hits in America. And that's climbing up that chart. So the album is doing really well. And the song that's number 2 right now is Starlight. So, that's doing great. But during COVID, I wanted to release this album because I feel it has a tremendous amount of hope, of faith, of love. And I wanted to lift people up. I'm a giver. I believe in people. I love people. I always want to help them. And, that's what my voice is used for a lot when I sing, is to help others, is to remind them, that they too can get through something, or they too can find something great about themselves, or find this secret place inside that they can develop that became born out of a hardship that perhaps they went through.
Well, everyone, without further ado, if you want to call in and speak to Susan or any of us, it's 323-524-2599. Susan, her website is SUSAN TONEY, TONEY.com. Her new album is Headed for Love, and she just told you about a new single, Starlight, that's going up the charts. She's got a special offer for all of you guys, but without, like I said, let's just wait and we talk a lot about her. We've all heard her music. I'm going to let you listen to her. This is the song that's going up the charts called Starlight. Enjoy.
I know you told me you were going far away. I didn't think that you would leave me. I found a ticket for a plane that leaves today. I guess I'm paying for the words I didn't say. Starlight, don't walk out of my life. Shine into my heart. Starlight, and light up the night. I need you to stay and say it's alright. Starlight. I know you said we must go our separate ways. My path without you, it will be lonely. Your bags are ready, your decision has been made. There is still time to say, you know, I care enough to change. Starlight, don't walk out of my life. Shine into my heart. Starlight, and light up the night. I need you to stay and say it's alright. Starlight. It took this long to know I need you beside me. I can't wait a moment longer. I've got to tell you tonight. Starlight, don't walk out of my life. Shine into my heart. Starlight, and light up the night. I need you to stay. Starlight, and say it's alright. Starlight. Starlight, don't walk out of my life. Shine into my heart. Starlight, and light up the night. I need you to stay. Starlight, and say it's alright. Starlight.
Oh my God, I love that song. You are the queen of like hooks. It's so infectious. You know, your song, I mean, just the whole production of it. I mean, I know you've worked with Jane Getz and Bob, and I'm sure there's other people around, but those are the only two I know in you. But what a beautiful song.
Thank you so much.
It's just so rich. It's just such a beautiful song. Anybody else want to talk now? Because I'm getting bored.
I wanted to say I'd like to offer, if you'll send me your email, I would like to give you a free download of my album from right now through Saturday, August 22nd, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And this is to all of the audience, not just
all of the audience, yes.
Between the Sheets. So you get a free download of the entire album until what time tomorrow?
Until 9 p.m. tomorrow.
9 p.m. August. Hold on, I got to get the right date.
Time. 22nd.
The 22nd.
The 22nd, Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m.
And the email, you can go to Susan Toney, Tone.
Susan at SusanToney.com.
Correct.
Susan or my website, which is www.susantoney.com.
And remember, people, come on, come on. This is like, she's a starving artist. We always have to support our artists, but because she's on between the sheets and she appreciates all of you, you get a freebie. Not too many artists give away their stuff. So, please, it's an amazing album and I've heard it all. So I hope you enjoy that. We've got 3 more songs, which I'm not going to barrage her right now with playing one after another because we've got some time to be on the air. Susan is giving us a whole hour and a half. So, so thank you. So Susan, I did bring up earlier,
yes,
your struggles and challenges, with health.
Yes.
And I just, would like you to share with everyone here sort of what that was, the time you took off, and how you got back to strength of where you are now.
Yes. In 2005, I found out I had a pancreatic cancer. And I was told I had to go onto something called TPN, which basically feeds you through a line in your vein in your arm. And I had to avoid water, all drinks, all liquid drinks, all food for 6 months before I could even have the pancreatectomy that I need to have my pancreas removed because I had cancer of the pancreas. And during that time, while I was on this feeding liquid called TPN, I wasn't, in bed or, I was up and about, but I just had to be fed this way. And I had a backpack on my back, a small one that had this feeding, container in it. And I won a huge award. And so I went and performed with this on my back and my guitar and everything else and won the award and had a great time talking to all the audience afterwards and the producers, and they loved it. And everybody was eating before that in the green room and after, and, I was like, oh, wow, the pizza smells good. But, I just had fun and watched everybody else enjoy themselves basically with the food. But so then I had my pancreas removed 8 months later. And that makes you feel like you've been kicked, not to the end of the football field, but to the other side of the universe.
Wow.
And still, I was up and about. And it took me about 7 years to recover from that because there were 5 subsequent surgeries I had to have as well. Oh. And I just kept my faith. I kept laughing. I kept loving. I kept believing. I kept writing. And, I'm not somebody that would give up. Mm-hmm. I won't give up. That's my nature. I will not give up. I won't give up on this country. I won't give up on anyone in the audience that's having difficulty, on anyone in the world that's having difficulty. When I was in Tulsa a few years ago taking care of my mom, people would meet me in Tulsa at the restaurant. I've seen you on TV. I love that song, Trail of Light and Dark. And then people would say, oh, do you do life coaching? And I'm like, no, I don't. But he said, oh gosh, I want you to be my life coach. Uh-huh. But the point is that there's always somebody. It's not accidental when you meet somebody because they might need your help. One time I was performing at a club in Los Angeles. And after the show, a guy came up to me and he said, Susan, I've tried so hard to get out of coming to see you. My friend wanted me to come see you. And I kept saying, no. I was suicidal. I lost all my faith. I was completely down and out. But tonight he was able to get me here to hear you. And hearing you tonight has changed my life. He said, I'm no longer feeling suicidal. I'm going to return to my faith, to my life, to my family. And I said, well, can I take you out for some coffee and dessert after the show? So I did. I took him out and had about a half an hour with him at a restaurant. And, you're always put in a position where you can touch somebody.
Susan, and we never know who we're going to touch, right?
That's
right. you're just being you,
Yes, of course.
and you're this, it just sounds like you're this motivational, inspirational, songwriter who can write. I mean, I just give you so much credit for being able to put down your emotions, on paper or in a song. I mean, it's just so inspirational. And you must have really, like you said, done a lot of writing during that time.
Yes, I
Right
did.
when you were,
I have a big catalog. Yes, I have a
yeah.
big
Oh
catalog.
my gosh.
But I mean, that gets back to the subject of, I mean, we're all healers to some degree.
Yes, I agree.
Whatever it is, it starts with self, it starts with energy. Yes, Alana, I'm going spiritual right now. But I mean, but music, I mean, for me, and I am not a musician. I think I am in the rock band in my head, but for me, music has always had such a calming, healing effect on me. And and I think, I mean, like, let's go around the room, and you don't have to say music. Mara Shane,
Yeah.
what in your life has had a healing effect on you?
A couple things. Do I have to just say one?
No, you can. No, have I ever stopped you from saying?
I would say, well, music is extremely healing, but also my cat. I can't tell you, like, I always have to be a cat mom because I need the presence of that animal with me. There's extremely healing. And then also, well, my art, being able to get lost while I'm creating something, while I'm taking something that's not tangible and I'm making it tangible. It's very amazing. It's seductive, and it's
just like you. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm so seductive.
Alana.
I agree with her that expression through art is really healing for the person that's doing it, because you find things in yourself maybe you didn't know you had. And for me, I like write in a journal. I've written in a journal since I was like 7 years old. So I know where my brain was at most of the stages of my life. And then I also sew. So I have this thing I create, and it just comes out of my hands. I don't know what it's going to be until it's done. And sometimes I hate it. Most times I hate it. And then sometimes I love it. But yeah, music is totally healing. And as a performer, as Susan knows, performing is healing too, because you're actually digging into who you are and sharing it with an audience. And when I sing cover songs, I don't sing any originals, but when I sing cover songs, I feel those words and I feel the reaction from the audience too. And I feel like it's a synchronous moment of they are being healed by this moment of joy, songs they love or whatever, and they're singing along. And then I feel that joy of being able to provide that and sing that for them. And I'm sure Susan agrees. It's such a joy to see people singing along with you and just the energy in the room. So that for me is healing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anything, and I'll get to you, Cheryl, but I mean, everything is all about energy, and we all tap into each other's energy. And now I'll punt to Cheryl because she knows more about this than I do. But Cheryl, what is your healing mechanism?
Well, just for me personally, I'm always out in nature as much as I can get out in nature and just be at peace with that. Songs, yes, to me, songs are poetry. Music is poetry to me. And I love the vibration or the melody that it carries. And what's fascinating is like the truth. When you hear, like just now in Susan's song, when you hear someone speak the truth, it resonates with you on a deeper level. And to me, that's very healing. It's like, I know you, it's that feeling of.
Yeah, she's saying things that a lot of us can't say. And
exactly.
And she's putting it into words, things that we feel inside.
I mean, that's
what a good song is.
Yeah, the best music, I wouldn't say musicians, the best songwriters, it comes from within, and they are at their most vulnerable, and they're sharing that piece of them with you. And that's brave to do, because in this world, we all walk around with defense mechanisms or what people expect to see from us, or what people want, we mold, judgments. I mean, a friend of mine the other day, I mean, I'm always Gaye Ann Bruno Between the Sheets podcast. I mean, I'm on all the time because people have that expectation. But the reality is, a friend of mine took me aside and she said, I love you. No matter what, I love you as who you are, but you don't always have to be on, because there's that sensitive, sweet, emotional, vulnerable side, you know, and you don't allow people to see that. So therefore, they've got judgment about who you are. So just, you know, calm down, take a breath, you know, namaste and om, and just be that true, authentic you. And the people, and this is true, I think, for everybody, you know, we should drop down that. We just should. I mean, Susan does it in music, but we all need to drop down that guard and let people see who our authentic self is, because otherwise, you know, we really won't find the right people that will understand us and be in our lives. We won't attract the right people in our lives. And, you know, every time we take on a persona, and you guys can disagree with me or not, but every time you take a persona and we mold and we become malleable, or we want what that person wants us to see, we're not only doing ourselves a disservice, but we're also really not portraying who we are. And is that really, when you're looking for self-worth and self-love, don't you have to start there and be as authentic and true and honest?
Yeah, we are playing a part. It's almost like we're stepping into this fake role that we think we need to play, and without really feeling authentic, we just kind of go through the motions and don't really have that deeper connection with people because we are playing a part. And so it's nice to see people drop that guard. And Gaye Ann, go ahead and drop that guard. Like, we want to see you. We want to know who you are. And we love the act too, because that is you, and you have that imaginative side and that amazing energy, but there is deeper sensitive side too. So it's good to show both.
Yeah, and I want to just ask us, Donna, Susan, about the
Donna, Susan.
Yeah, I read more about you, and I mean, even before this ordeal that you went through, you were thrown out of a car. You know, I can't even imagine all the different things that happened to you that a lot of people would give up and sink into very, very like low depression and maybe want to just die. And I mean, because come on, you were thrown from a car, you know, you got cancer and like all these things. I guess I'm wondering was it not worth it, but like, does your music emanate from the pain that you've been through as much as the joy? Does the pain inspire?
Yeah, I think that well, I have a belief that there even if something terribly difficult happens, there is a good reason for it. There is something that we're supposed to learn, or it's something that is supposed to strengthen us in a certain way. It is something that enables us to be more of who we are, so we can be more helpful to others, so we can be more gracious, more kind, more giving, more caring, more merciful, more forgiving. And, you know, like when I got hit by that car in Pasadena on the 210, right over the 134, you know, my car flipped. An 18-wheeler trailer saw the car hit my car, and called it in because they were trying to deny that, you know, that they were at fault and all that stuff. And I was laying there right there at Fair Oaks, where you exit on Fair Oaks off the 210. I was laying there on the pavement, bleeding, and a fireman who got called on a call that wasn't good was going back to Pasadena. And he saw me and he stopped and called the paramedics, and I got taken to Huntington Hospital. And my one of my very dear friends at the time called my family. My father was there the next morning from Tulsa to came out, and I wasn't in a coma, but they kept me so sedated. I wasn't really awake. And when I woke up, my hair, my ears, it was still covered in blood because my left eye, the bone around my eye was crushed. And so they had to do surgery on it and whatnot. So they couldn't wipe over there or anything. But, you know, I woke up and my dad was holding my hand. And, like I say, this fireman out of nowhere, we're being saved all the time by something knowing that we need help when we can't even ask for it. There I was, I couldn't even ask for help, and I got help in so many ways. And I just believe that's what life is about. And sometimes we're sharing joy and it's fun. And sometimes it's serene and other people are going through things and we're there for them. It's just this passage that, like a wave, comes in and goes out.
You are so inspiring. I mean, seriously. I don't get depressed. I get sad. I don't get depressed. But I also, when I listen to your story, and it's not your story, it's your life. It is your life. I mean, it really makes me think of like the crybaby BS bullshit, immature stuff that, I was destroyed over. Really makes me reflect and go, you will never, ever, ever behave like that or feel like that again, because to compare my little bullshit compared to your life-changing things, and you have come out of it. You could have been angry, you could have been bitter, and yet you just find the light, the beauty in all the adversity. So I just want to say thank you, because that really is truly inspiring to me.
Not that you did. Oh, sorry, Dan.
It's okay. I'm used to you interrupting me, but please do.
I'm so sorry. Not to say that there weren't, days that I'm sure felt like you're at rock bottom, right? I mean,
Definitely.
Not to make, I'm sure you were super angry at times too, but the point being,
I've had every emotion that a human being can have.
Yeah, more than once,
right. But I look to you for hearing how you got through that, because I can't even imagine going through something so traumatic, two things so traumatic like that. And I think it's also, as an artist, I think it's amazing that your creativity didn't leave you. Maybe it did at sometimes, but for me, because sometimes I go through spurts of creativity, and sometimes it's like trying to get water out of a well that's all shriveled up sometimes. But yeah. I can't believe that you came up with material based on I can believe it, but it's amazing. It's amazing that you felt inspired through what you went through to write.
Susan, do you feel
that's why my album says love is a cure, because love is a cure.
Do you feel that your music changed and transformed, through this? I mean, do you feel that more of you is coming out now than ever before,
Oh, I think everything that happened to me in my life helped me grow and mature and evolve and understand others better and understand myself better. And, yes, so, it's all been touched by, the process of life, which life can be difficult, can be very difficult sometimes. Right now with COVID, I've spent a lot of time in prayer about it. And you can't tour, you can't go out and perform, all those things. But I think, all of a sudden families are listening to each other. Husbands and wives are talking to each other instead of texting at a restaurant. They're out to eat, and sure, I know they love each other, and they're having fun, but they're not even looking at each other, or they're eating while they're on the phone. And I think that our phones are great. They've helped us in many ways. Zoom is fantastic. All these things have really helped us all over the world do things that we couldn't do before and that are very necessary for business. But the thing that is eternally important for life, for business, for relationship, for serenity, for happiness and joy is being with each other. I crave being with people. I crave performing and giving and loving. We need that. We were born to be together. we're born to be together, so it's very important.
Your voice is so soothing. I could just listen to you all the time. But I want to play another song of Susan's. We're talking about love. And I've asked Kurt, who's on, thank you, Kurt, to play the next song, Headed for Love. Everyone, you're watching Between the Sheets podcast, the first and third Friday of every month. We have our guest, SUSAN TONEY, here tonight. Wonderful musician. Her next song, Headed for Love, is queued up. We have a new member of Between the Sheets, ALANA. Thank you. I love you. She is very cool. We're all supposed to be here at this time, at this moment, including you guys. So I appreciate you listening. Call in 323-524-2599. Ask any of us or Susan any questions. And lastly, when we come back from the song, there's a special promotion that Susan is offering every listener on the show that will expire tomorrow morning, and we'll tell you after the song. So now everyone, Headed for Love, SUSAN TONEY.
Tell me that you're waiting, see if there's something there. Say you still don't know me, you're uncertain if you care. Well, I climb any mountain in search of the truth. You've locked up your feelings, so afraid you do not dare. Let your heart beat freely, really, really see what's there. Well, I climb any mountain in search of the truth. Shine the light.
everybody. Welcome to Between the Sheets. This is Susan Toney. Her second song, Headed for Love. Second single from the song. That, Susan, is, first of all, when I went to the studio for the very first time to hear you, that was the song that was played, and it was so infectious, and I fell in love with your voice and who you are. I just love that song. I mean, I love Starlight, but this one, and maybe it's because it has that sort of special thing, because it was the first song I was introduced to you with. I love it. I also have to say, ladies, having a musician in the studio, and those of you who had been in the studio when we actually have live musicians in there, the energy, I so miss that energy. Like, because we would sit there, we would start singing and just screaming, and this virtual thing is great, but I totally miss doing that. And soon we will be back in the studio. And, but Susan, it's amazing. You know, I mean, I hear your voice and it's very distinctive, but I guess in my ear, and there's probably somebody else, but it's very, I think Ricky Lee Jones like.
I hear Bonnie Raitt too.
I hear Bonnie Raitt. I mean, you know, and you're unique and individual, but it's just like you encompass so many like great musicians, but it's you. It's you. And I've always said, you know, for me, what makes a great artist is when I can close my eyes, just hear a song, and I can sit there and go, that's that person. And that's what makes you unique in your own right.
Yeah, she has a very specific sound.
Yeah, very original, very authentic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And don't forget,
Go ahead.
I'll give you a free download of the album through tomorrow, Saturday, August 22nd, 2020 to 9 p.m. Just go to www.susantoney.com or susan@susantoney.com. Send me your email and you'll receive a free download of the entire album.
Hey guys, do it. I mean, this is only two. We've got two more to hear before the end of the show, but please call in. I mean, you guys are all freaking quiet. 323-524-2599. Now I'm going to zip my mouth and I'm going to open it up to my panel. Alana's so cute. I messengered Alana, just checking in on her, saying, you okay? She goes, I do, but I don't know when I can talk. Now talk.
I actually have some questions for Susan, and I wanted to ask her where she starts her songs, because when you're an expressive person and you don't always know where to start, that kind of hinders the process. So when you don't start, you can't finish the job. You know, you can't complete the project. And me as an artist, it's hard to even get to the end. I don't even know what that looks like, but picking up the pen or picking up the whatever it is to start, that's the very beginning. So my question is, does it start with a poem or writing, or does it start with a melody, or does it start with a guitar chord or two that you feel you're interested in pursuing the song with? Like, well, how do you pick, and what's your process like?
Okay, that's a great question. Starting a song, first, there's a little trick. Just let all your walls down and open up all your feelings. You're alone. You're in a room, whatever room is comfortable for you, and you're in the presence of a spirit around you that's always helping you, always there for you. So just lift yourself open, let your heart open, and ask yourself what you're feeling. And when you have a feeling, and say, what does that sound like? What is the mood of that? And if you're a guitar player or a piano player, maybe you might play a few notes and say, oh gosh, and think, well, what does that remind me of? And then you'll get something like that. And then all of a sudden you'll have like the start of a line. You'll have
a verse.
You'll have the start, or you might have an idea like Headed for Love. You might have an idea, Headed for Love. You might have the idea, I don't ever want to be late again. You know, whatever that is, something might have happened that made you think, gosh, that would be a great song. But anyway, find that unique part in you that's calling out, that's got an idea, that's got a melody, that's got a feeling, and just let that come together, and it'll start coming together.
And then completing the project, how do you wrap something up like that? I mean, all of us have ideas and we don't really put them together. And then you have to finish a song for it to be a song. So wrapping that up, making that a complete project, I think is the hardest for us artists.
Okay. If let's say you're sitting down and talking to a child and you're telling them a story. Think of a child that you love, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, if you have your own child. But think about a little kid, or think about when you were a little kid and your parents or somebody special would talk to you and tell you a story. Now, a song is a story. A song is a story, just like a film is a story, and a book is a story, and a piece of art is a moment. Because I'm an artist as well. I paint and sculpt and everything. But so find the story. Find the story. So you start telling the story. And as in any story, you say, okay, what happens what was the next thing that happened? What was the breakthrough? What was the thing that gave me joy? What was the thing that gave me an idea? Oh, I can go in that direction. So it's a story that you start telling. And then it has a beginning, and then you have more details in your story. Then you go on to the next part of the story. Well, in chapter 2, just like in a book, in the second verse, I'm going to talk about more of the story. And in the chorus, I'm going to talk about the goal. The chorus is the goal. It's the path that you need to go in that story. It's the goal. That's why they call it a hook. It's that's it. It's that moment is that it's same as in a book, same as in a film.
Is the chorus the message of is that how it works with musicians?
Well, the chorus is kind of the message. It's kind of I'm headed for love. I'm headed for love.
Yeah, it's the core message. It's the anthem. Okay. What the person's trying to convey. I feel like that's where they put it. That's the most important thing they're saying. Yeah, exactly. Usually in the chorus. Yeah. And what I like about your songs too is there's a lot of key changes. So and if people who aren't musicians might not understand, but that's when the whole song kind of shifts up or down, has the up or down feeling. She has a lot of that in her song. So she's trying to not just say a message and not just sing a pretty line, but she's shifting the whole song too with the emotion, and it takes into a whole different direction. She might go back to that original feeling. So she changes the feeling of the song with the key changes. And that's really interesting how often she uses that and where she uses it and how. So I thought that was a fascinating part of what you're doing is the key changes. So there's a lot of them.
Thank you. I'm a classically trained musician. I started playing classical guitar when I was in the 2nd grade. And I started playing piano when I was 2 years old. And it just, kept teaching. I kept listening. I'd have favorite people. I'd listen to classical. I'd listen to pop. I'd listen to R&B. I'd listen to blues. I'd listen to country. I listened to all of it, And then I found what my platform was: pop, rock, R&B, blues.
That's wonderful. I want to, only because, I looked at the time and I'm like, wow, crap. I want to play another song. Not Your Rescue Squad. SUSAN TONEY, Not Your Rescue Squad. Thanks, Kurt.
Not speaking's pulling stronger, like a rubber band aching to break. I've snapped to your attention before,
I have to say, as I'm listening to the words, I am getting all verklempt inside. I mean, everybody on this show is an empath, and I think, you know, for me, I resonate so much with that song because, you know, I've been on that other end. You know, I've been the rescue squad. And it's of course we always try and fix too, but you know, it really resonated with me because, you know, you find someone, you care about them, you love them, you grow, you want to grow with them, and yet, you know, it's sort of like you become the enabler of some of their behavior. And I'm like my balls all teared up and shit. But you know, but it's to the detriment of yourself because it's hard to let go. It is hard to let go. And, you know, and it's not until sort of you have to sit there and stand in your own power and say, you know, I love you so much, but I have to let you go. And I know we've all been there. I know Cheryl's been there. Mara's been there. Alana, I know you've been there. I'm sure, Susan, you've been there. Otherwise, where would you have come up with the fucking song? You know what I mean? But Alana, you're muted if you want to speak. So I mean, you know, I'm curious, where did that song come from? There's got to be a story, Susan.
Yeah, well, I wrote that with a good friend of mine named Kristen Kellogg, and she had been having difficulty with someone, and of course I had a shared experience where, you know, I had gone through something like that too. So anyway, I wrote the song with her and brought then my own things into it, what I had experienced, and, you know, told that story, you know, just like we were talking about, Alana, a little while ago.
I mean, I think on the responsibility of other people, and we want to help them so deeply because we care so much, but it really is a burden on us, and that we maybe shouldn't carry, and allowing them to learn maybe, but doing it with love, you know, allowing, just being a space for them, but, and being helpful where we can, but not taking on that pain that we experience when we're trying to carry them through those things. They do need to help themselves. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it just sometimes, I guess, in different people's lives, we've perhaps come close to that ourselves, where something is so momentous, they just feel inept, and, you know, they need somebody to help them, and they start off with they start off, I think, being responsible, but then they just kind of, they don't take any action, you know, with the help they're given, or with the insight they're given, or the support they're given. They don't take any action themselves to deal with that problem. And
it's about accountability. And a lot of people, you know, it's easy to project on others when stuff doesn't happen or it's your fault. And a lot of people, you know, and I know it's easy because I've done it too. It's not like I'm like perfect. I mean, it's easy to blame someone else for things that we can't see in ourselves, you know, and it is about awareness. And once you become aware of what's going on in you, and it takes practice. You don't wake up and go, oh, I'm so aware.
Yeah.
You know, but it takes then the ability of awareness to start working on yourself. And you tend to realize that you don't need anybody else because you've got everything within you.
Yes.
Yeah. And this song really hits home for me. I've lost people that the biggest lesson in life that it seems to be a recurring lesson that I keep having to go through is that it's not up to me to save somebody else. It's not meaning anyone. They're on a journey. They're on their own journey. It's just such a hard reality.
I think it's because, you know, I think to every degree, you know, we're all in a way, and I don't say controlling in a negative way. I think we see something, you know, it's like, you know, we're all, like I said, we're all empathic. We're all very sensitive people, emotional people here on this show tonight. You know, we're the ones that saved the little bird. we're the ones that, help that cat, this is who we are, all of us. And that's why we're all brought together. And I think even with a person, we think we can make a difference in their life, and we can show them the light or teach them a lesson. But if they're not willing to see that, then first of all, we're just control freaks at that point. But I think sometimes you just have to sometimes cut those cords and allow everyone else to find their own path, their own journey. And instead of trying to push ourselves or ideology or what we think on them, our being opinionated, maybe we just learn to just sit back, allow them to stumble and fall, because we don't want them to do that. But that's the way we're going to grow. And I think the best thing we need to do is to just reassure them that we're just going to be there no matter what.
Well, I wasn't there no matter what in my situation.
No, but that's one situation. But there are other things in your life, Mara, that you can't predicate everything by that one situation. You have helped others, whether they've told you or not told you, but we all make an impact on everybody that we meet. And that's why they say, you meet someone, it may be just a smile that you gave them and you don't even know who the hell they are, but that may have made them feel so good about themselves that, maybe you got them out of their depression. And it's just so simple and so small. And I think, with this world and now with the internet, I think we want to make big impacts and we got to make big things and larger than life. And Jesus Christ, this is a movie, for hell's sake. But it's not. Sometimes it's just the subtle things. And I think we all have to be okay with just the subtle things and take note when those subtle things happen to us. Know that there's a synergy. There's an action for every reaction, and it doesn't have to be huge. So we all make a difference. Tonight, we're all making a difference in each other's life. People watching, we are all impacting each other and learning and growing from something that happened to stem from Susan's inspiring music. But we're all growing and learning on this journey and resonating. And I'm on my soapbox right now. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's have one more song and a little faith. I want to hear a little faith. Thanks, Kurt.
There's a heavenly light shining in the room, coming in through, cracking the door. You gotta open the door a little wider, so all the clouds of fear and doubt will cover you no more, and your faith will grow as the room gets brighter. Ooh, faith is your backbone and your strength. Ooh, faith works through your hands to heal the pain, inspires your thoughts, rewires your brain, puts your heart in the right place. All you need is a little faith. The battle isn't over yet. There are miles and miles to run. So many pitfalls on the road you travel. There is no turning back once the journey has begun. But you won't get more than you can handle. Ooh, faith is your backbone and your strength. Ooh, faith works through your hands to heal the pain, inspires your thoughts, rewires your brain, puts your heart in the right place. my enemies fell with just a flicker of a light. Faith is your backbone and your strength. Ooh, faith works through your hands to heal the pain, inspires your thoughts, rewires your brain, puts your heart in the right place. All you need is a little faith. All you need is a little faith. All you need is a little faith.
Woot and peace, people. I'm like on Facebook thing. Aaron's like, I love this song. I love Susan. Oh my God, she's amazing. So the fans are just loving this. Hey, Kurt, do we still have that call, or did they hang up?
Let me see. We do, yes.
Okay, we have a caller. I'm ready when you are.
Hello there.
Hi,
oh my gosh. I'm Teresa. Hi, Gaye. I love your show.
Thank you.
Susan Toney, your music is so unique and authentic, and it touches me in such a visceral way. Thank you for telling the truth. Susan, would you share with us who your early influences are? I'm a musician as well, and I just love to hear who kind of got you going and inspired you.
Oh, sure. Thanks, Teresa. Yeah, Leon Russell, The Supremes, Aretha Franklin, B.B. King.
Wow.
Joni Mitchell. I've been told by many record companies and producers, wow, you really got a lot of Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
Do all the guitar stuff and the music that she does. But yeah, and then classical music. A guy named Paul Williams, you might have heard of him. He writes scores.
A composer.
He's a composer, writes for beautiful, beautiful movies and things. He heard my record. He heard Love is the Cure, The Essential Collection. He said, Susan, you are not a musician. You are not a lyricist. You are a composer. And
your music is definitely so rich and covers the spectrum kind of for me.
Say that again, Gaye Ann.
Nope, that was T.
Okay, T. Thank you, T.
You're welcome. Thank you. I love your show, Gaye Ann.
Thank you, Teresa. I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
So hey, guess what time it is, peeps?
What's that, Gaye?
We've got 8:23. We have 7 minutes. Didn't it go by fast?
Yeah.
Didn't Alana? Didn't it, Susan?
Yeah.
What are you doing? We
fun.
just stop. Susan, I know people can find you at Susan Toney. That's TONEY.com. Why don't you just repeat one more time what special thing you're doing for the listeners of Between the Sheets?
Okay, for the listeners of Between the Sheets, I am giving you a gift from my heart that I hope just inspires you and warms you and makes your life go better. From right now through tomorrow, Saturday, August 22nd, 2020 at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will email you a free download of my new album, Headed for Love, which is on the charts. Just go to Susan, send me your email at susan@susantoney.com, or go to www.susantoney.com and you'll see the contact me section on that, which will be susan@susantoney.com. Send me your email.
And also, on the website too, Susan, follow Susan on Instagram, Facebook. She's all over. It's always important to up the likes on social media. Unfortunately, it is the importance. Susan, I hear that you're single. just got added to a California station. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's going up the charts. It's the first single is Starlight. So, you know, I don't know, you know, call your stations, tell them to add it. I don't know if they still do that anymore, if that's old school. SUSAN TONEY, Starlight, we want it out there. It's beautiful. I mean, Susan, you know, we talked for a minute. You know, you are, you know, what I love about you, and I was telling this to Danielle, that you're spiritual and you have faith, but you're not a Bible thumper. And it's just, I like that, because I am anti-established religion, and that's just me. But the way that you position things, and even it goes through your music, it is such a palatable way of me to sort of listen without that aversion factor of actually having some sort of faith. So I actually do appreciate that you are a storyteller, not only through your music, not only a life coach, but that you are just such a Renaissance woman on all levels. And I am proud to call you my friend. And I adore you. And I am so blessed that you joined us on the show tonight, because I know you've made my life a little better just by knowing you.
And you've made mine better, Gaye Ann. And I hope that I'm your guest many times if you'll have me.
Oh, don't worry. We've got I mean, Danielle sent me like a laundry list of stuff to talk about. And I'm like, oh, we've got to have Susan back on the show. So, because it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, you are just phenomenal. So thank you, Mara Shane. I adore you, my little sister. I love you. I mean, we don't talk a lot, but we send these amazing text messages of love to each other. Where can people find you? What are you doing? Just let us know what's going on, babe.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Mara Shane Art.
Okay.
I also, you can find my website, marashaneart.com, and my Facebook page is Mara Shane Custom Design.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And Cheryl Murphy, where are you like doing your psychic thingies?
You know, I am on Zoom a lot. I'm doing some Facebook Lives. You guys can always check me out on my website. It's mediumcheryl.com. And you can always connect with me through email, or you can always call me. My phone number's on my website. But yeah, I'm always trying to teach. I'm trying to teach people about mediumship and their intuition. I'm trying to demonstrate also the power of love, and that our loved ones are with us and supporting us. Those love never dies, so to speak. So yeah, check out my website. My events page is on there.
Awesome. Thank you. I love you so much, Cheryl.
Love you
so much.
And
I'm so happy that Zoom has happened in COVID, because you're always with us now. So it's hard when we were traveling. So I do appreciate you and love you so much. Thank you again for being part of the show. Now for the newest member of the bunch, my Alana, my kid, kind of. How was your first show, baby? Tell us.
It was great. I really loved connecting with everyone and just feeling their energy and just seeing where I could fit in, and just seeing if, you know, where the conversation was going to go, because you just never know what's going to open up and where people are going to speak from, and what you can learn from other people. So I'm always listening, like Cheryl's saying, like there's, you know, she can train the mediumship and things like that. I'm super interested in that. I'm always trying to pick up cues and energies. And I feel like it just goes, it touches me, and I want to absorb it, and I want to figure out what it is and where it came from. So I'm very interested in what you're doing, Cheryl. But and just all the conversations I've had with Gaye Ann, this is very similar to our conversations we have, just the depth of life that there is, and how many amazing things we can talk about together as human beings. So I really enjoyed it, and I love the music as well, Susan. So thank you for the great messages. And I don't have any Facebook to share, but my ask would be to call someone you haven't talked to in a while. For all of us to call someone that we love and we haven't spoken to in a while, because they probably need it. And just how disconnected we are right now, I would love it if someone randomly called me. So I feel like we just need to reach out and touch someone. I can't do it through a song, so I'm going to call somebody I care about tomorrow and just say hello. Right. And just make sure they feel loved. So, but I felt loved tonight for being here. So thank you, Gaye Ann.
You're welcome. You're going to be back? You want to be back?
Yeah, definitely.
Pressure. 45,000 people are listening.
And Mara has her kitty cat, I see. It's so
Yeah.
nice to meet all of you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I love you, my niece. Mwah. I was blessed.
You too.
I was blessed to have met you.
Oh, thank you. You too.
So everybody, I'm not going to sign off with, you know, my mantra: love, peace, happiness, gratitude, kindness, compassion. That's the way we all live. We do slip and fall. I fuck up, God knows. But as long as we realize that and we get back on the right path, be kind to each other. Alexa's talking in the background. You know, and it really is all about love. It really, truthfully is all about love of self first. Because unless you love yourself first, you can't grow from that and give that energy to someone else, and you cannot fill from an empty cup. So please be safe. Please be well out there. You know, follow all the rules, wash the hands, 6 feet distancing, the mask. I created quite a stir on Facebook the other day. To some liked it, some didn't. I'm a narc, apparently, a whistleblower, but you know, you take care of each other. And maybe it wasn't a popular decision of what I did, but you know, and would I do it again? Probably not. But I felt at that time it needed to be done. So we all have to take care of each other in whatever way we can. So please do that to each other, even after COVID ends. It doesn't matter. We need to all take care of each other. So peace and love to you all. We will be back the first Friday of September. Our guest is going to be Arlene Kranz. She's an author, speaker, mentor, World Women Foundation. She's amazing. And she's 80 plus years old.
My favorite generation. I love those.
I usually date anybody 62 and up, so we're good. So that's my generation, but she is an enigma. She has done so much in her life. I think another inspiring woman for all of us, and I can't wait to have her on. Yeah, we did a lot of the heavy topics. I'm now going to start like lightening it up a little, but with just really more motivational stuff. You can find me on Instagram, QTE Brat. This show will be all over audio wise, as well as video wise on my YouTube, Between the Sheets podcast, and follow my Instagram, like I said, and please like our Between the Sheets Facebook page. You know, you keep coming back. We keep coming back for you, you know, kumbaya, and it's all one. We are all one. So thank you, Susan. Thank you, Alana. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Kurt, for constantly watching our back and keeping us in studio and on the straight and narrow. I want to go into the studio soon. I so do. And every time I want to, then I change my mind. But we will. So on that note, everyone, please have a wonderful evening. I do love you. I am in gratitude for each and every one of you. We are the sum of all parts. As Hillary Clinton said, who I still freaking love her, it takes a village. Vote blue. Biden, Kamala, please go out and make a vote. Do not mail. If you can, walk that ballot to your place. Our voices need to be heard. We cannot allow this idiot, sociopath, to be in charge anymore. This is a new world, a new place. And with that's enough.
It's enough. It's time to move on.
Yep.
And repair the damage.
So let's give Biden and Kamala our love, our good thoughts, our positive energy. And with that, my friends, namaste. Have a great night. Namaste.